3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Tapcast.
Yo.
This is our 10th episode. And today we have a very, very special guest.
They're all special.
But
some are more special than others.
This is special here.
Some are more
Extra
special than
special.
others.
I want you guys to know, this is a fucking modern day Cuban samurai that we have inside this building right now.
Definitely a samurai.
Round of applause, guys. Hey.
And his name is Ray Fundora. How you doing, Ray?
AKA
all right,
Ceviche.
AKA Ceviche.
How you feeling today, man?
Feeling good, man.
Man, a lot of you people don't know, but Ceviche in Miami is like a local legend here, man. And he's one of the best people I think everybody here would say that they've met. Overall, great person, man. And
Especially in the MMA community.
the MMA community, too, man. This guy's, you've probably seen him in the UFC a couple times. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But overall,
Thank you,
great
Jamie.
person, man. And a hardcore trainer, a lifer for jiu-jitsu and MMA and kickboxing and sports, bro. Combat related, you know. So today, Raymond, walk us through how you feeling, bro.
I'm feeling great, man. Happy to be in my element. Feeling this mat. Feeling happy that we're all together here and we're not so distant apart with all that exaggerated false safety, you know, that has been. I'm just happy to see that you guys are invoking your rights, you know, and your love of the sport and preaching about the sport. And I just feel so good to be on a mat. My God.
Yeah, man. It's the best feeling
You know?
for sure.
It's been rough. It's been a rough last 2 months for, I think, a lot of us. Most of the world, in one way or another, has been suffering. For a lot of us, it's something as simple as not being able to train, not being able to go outside and congregate with our friends, our teammates. And believe it or not, that type of stuff, you know, really affects us, you know. Some of us more than others. And a lot of people like to sort of like push aside jiu-jitsu and physical training, lifting weights and exercise. But if you take that away from a lot of us, I mean, a lot of us, we have a hard time, you know, getting by, you know.
Absolutely.
Jiu-jitsu helps us out in more ways than just physical.
More ways than just financial, just as well, you know.
Oh yeah, no.
You know, I don't know.
Financial is the least, I think. Jiu-jitsu.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
Like,
knows there's no money.
You run
in
a school,
jiu-jitsu.
it's also just the aspect of teaching and, you know, training every day and having that routine that, like, I think is one of the most healthy ways of living, you know, having something like this, you know.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I really miss class, like jiu-jitsu class. Like I used to look forward
I
to
miss technique, dog. I feel you.
Yeah,
bro.
the structure of a class.
Like I used to have a lot of fun at open mats, and I think open mats are super fun. But now I miss class.
I hear you.
That's the psychology part of what jiu-jitsu is, the structure. Or if you have a lack of structure in your life, somehow jiu-jitsu just plans it all together. You have to be in class at such and such time. Your endorphins kick in because you got your ass whooped in the class, or you whooped a little ass. And when on the way home, those endorphins start dropping. You're like, shit, I can't wait till tomorrow. Am I allowed to say bad words?
You can
Yes,
say
you
whatever
can
the fuck
curse.
you
You
want,
say
bro.
whatever you want.
Say everything you want to say.
This is
bro.
So you know, everybody thinks jiu-jitsu, the medals, the victories, the competition. Yeah, you know, we all have a little ego. No perfect samurai, you know. But the other bigger aspects that jiu-jitsu is the physical health and the mental and spiritual health that it creates. I mean, think about it, boys. You know, some of you might have been just a tad bit too arrogant, too cocky, too convinced that you're awesome. And then you come over here and you get tapped out by a guy who weighs 50 pounds less than you over and over and over. You know, a month later, more and more. That'll fix your ego to the point where it needs to be. Some of us might be...
some the ones that stay.
The ones that stay, you know, but that's worthy, you know.
Ray, let me ask you, how'd you get into martial arts?
I'll tell you how I got into jiu-jitsu. Martial arts when I was 16, when I was younger.
Your kickboxing days.
When I was younger in Little Havana, I remember going to a karate dojo that was there and watching through the window on my, a crazy old school Schwinn bike, and watching through the window those guys do these really nerdy things, and I thought it was like, holy shit, fucking Chuck Norris. They would do things like this. So I would watch them. You know, I couldn't ask my mom, I want to be in karate, even though karate back then was probably $20, $30, you know, a month. And going back to my house, looking at the reflection from the third-story balcony sliding glass door, and practicing the same thing for hours on end. You know. When I was 16, I was going to Douglas Park. In Douglas Park, I was going to a school around there, Ace Academy, and then after school, I would go to Douglas Park, and there was a Swede that would teach kickboxing there, you know, and I fell in love with it.
What year was this, Ray?
90. I wasn't able to continue it because life happens, you know, just one thing leads to the other. I heard these incredible stories always about Manolo Lopez and family kickboxing as I got older. Life happened. My children came. I wasn't able to continue, but I made sure that my children were involved in martial arts because I know how important it is. Started them out in jiu-jitsu, took Mika to Buyo, real busy in that time, life, and I almost handed it to him, you know. And as soon as I saw my son compete, and I saw him get his ass handed to him, you know, and I was like, there's no way that gi could be that difficult. You know, he was a little kid, and I remember the following day I signed up, and I learned real quick that the gi is that difficult and how to become more humble and knock that arrogance down and everything else that comes with it.
I was saying earlier to you, one thing I think a lot of people know you for is like, not only that you're an older man doing training hardcore every single day, you know, you like you said, you have your family involved in it. It's more also your stories that I feel like you share with every single student you come across, right? Like a lot of times, I would say that you've showed that message of like your ego needs to get checked, right? Yeah. So I was telling Ray earlier when I was in high school, I had a situation where I had too much ego, and he came up to me and was super nice about it. This man comes up, he's like, hey, bro, listen, you did fucking awesome. But you don't need to tell nobody about it, you know what I'm saying? Just let it rock, bro. And I feel like till this day I've seen you do that with everybody on the mat. Like I'm saying, like you go up and you take the time to go up to people and say, hey, bro, you're fucking awesome, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like obviously in jiu-jitsu, you don't get too much ego shown around because you walk into a room full of guys that want to kill you. You know what I'm saying? And like they're going to let you know, like, listen, let me show you my sport. You know what I'm saying? And then you get, like you said, like you humble each other. You kind of get your ego down. And
but the thing is that it's very important. It's very important to check the ego. And it's a big part. It's almost more important than the physical aspect of jiu-jitsu. Because an ego run wild, right, run rampant and uncontrolled, can not only will it kill your progress, but it will hold you hostage from progressing, and as a jiu-jitsu practitioner and a martial artist in general, it's something that you yourself have to look deep inside when you're as you're practicing, and you have to make sure that you're constantly checking yourself. Yeah. And especially, I know that I've seen, for example, Ray going up to a lot of the younger guys, because those are the guys that don't see that. They think it's all about drilling and or rolling, lifting weight. It's all physical. But I think what a lot of people miss is that spiritual side. Or some people will call it spiritual, right? But it's mental, right? Like that mental side that has nothing to do with your physicality, and the ego. And if you can get that under control, I feel like that will just help you progress.
You skyrocket when you let that go.
You also need a little bit of ego, though, right?
You need it, yeah, but it's a checked ego. It's ego
it's
under
controlled.
control.
We're all
but it's your ego that drives you to like find that point of like when you finally decide to tap, when you decide to check that ego. Yeah. You need to find out what that point is, right?
The competitiveness you have inside of you.
Exactly.
You know?
You still have to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rennie.
All I was gonna say is that we're getting really deep. We're gonna start.
We still haven't talked about our sponsors.
And we didn't talk about our sponsors.
Yeah, because Jamie is the best host. Jamie's the best host of all time.
Jamie is the best host.
Hey, bro, listen. We do shit different here. We let you guys know halfway through how the fuck we do our sponsors, bro.
Hey, Josh, can you pass me another?
Hey,
the first sponsor. No, nothing. Look at that. Nothing fell, cuz.
Hit the button.
I ain't been training.
Hold on.
That's for you, Jamie.
Josh, can you pass me another?
All right, let's go over our sponsor quick. We're sorry to cut the stories off real quick.
And then we're going to get back to the stories because that's what we're here for.
I'm not going to lie to you, bro. We got to hear what Ray's got to say. So our first sponsor is Intense Supplements. They brought us some goodies today up here. Let me see what they got here.
Some whey protein, some cookies,
Oh, fuck. My bad, guys.
Nah, you're good.
He gave us some free stuff here, man. And Jerry Delgado.
Blackstone Labs. Those guys make some great protein.
You're the man, bro. I appreciate this. He's always bringing us some, some snacks.
I actually passed by Intense Supplements the other day and bought some protein from Jerry, and he was very informational and very helpful.
Yeah, the guy, he will always walks you through anything. Like anything you want to buy from Jerry, he's going to let you know exactly what it's going to do for you. And he's always trying to help people out, man. He's a great guy. So shout out Jerry Delgado, man. We love you on the show.
Awesome dude,
Flex Appeal, too.
Flex Appeal.
Make sure you visit Flex Appeal.
Make sure you visit Flex Appeal.
We're still working. Check out the shirt.
Jerry's also an old school Miamian, real from the bodybuilding world, the strength training world, the physical culture. He's an old school.
He's a real one.
A real OG.
Yeah.
From here.
Yeah, Jerry's
running
a man,
that for
bro.
a long time.
A
Everybody
Marine,
knows.
too.
Intense Jerry, yeah. Semper Fi Maria, that's right.
Why don't you walk us through our first time official beer sponsor?
Thank you to Great Game Properties, but we have some Strange Beast beers. Actually, quite a few Strange Beast beers. Guys located in West Kendall. They have great food, great pizza, but they actually have a deal with like Lincoln's Brewery, and they just carry some of the best craft beers out in West Kendall.
Absolutely, this fully stocked grocery store is really delicious.
Yeah,
They're
why don't we talk about some of these beers? What do we have?
Roman, come on, Roman, talk to us.
No, something I actually want to say about Strange Beasts. The pizza was delicious as well.
Absolutely, they're right on 152 and
Hook us up with a fucking pizza, bro.
Hey man, we got some beer.
We're just
now.
kidding, bro.
Actually,
I'm grateful
we
for the
got
beer.
a lot of
I'm
beer.
grateful for the beer. I was just kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah.
He took it serious. I'm taking it serious.
Nah, but we could have a pizza sponsor. That would be pretty dope. I mean,
shout out
just saying.
Inverted Gear. Inverted Gear.
Inverted Nelson. Hope you guys are doing good up there, and still keeping busy and working, coming out with fresh gear.
Hey man, everything Inverted that they've brought you guys is awesome, bro. I like the light weave also. You know what I'm saying? When I roll, personally, I think it's awesome. But
that black on black gi.
Dude, the black on black is sick, bro. Inverted, you're making some fresh shit, bro. We're not gonna lie to you. And shout out Glock. We got a few holstered guns. We're not so dangerous this episode.
Unchambered.
You guys want to send us free shit? Let us know. It'd be awesome, if you get us some free guns. That'd be cool.
Glock, man, you can't leave. It's like American Express.
Yeah, we're still looking for a gun sponsor.
You can't leave home without
It doesn't have to be Glock.
No, I want Glock.
Those guns could
Hey,
very well
looking
be
at you.
another. Those guns
I
could
like
very
Glock.
well
Yo,
be
Sig,
another.
hit me up.
That might trigger
Hey,
some people.
Ceviche, hey,
To get a safe
Ceviche,
space.
tell us about our
An
second.
emotional
This is not. Listen.
Second
hold on
Amendment right.
Hold on a second. Let's make something clear here. This isn't a safe space. There's a disclaimer before the podcast begins. All right,
Parental advisory.
It's a parental advisory, and people
Talk
know.
to your kids. You don't want us to
Some
watch
people
the
might be
Tapcast?
triggered.
Well,
Hashtag
this
kids
is
BJJ.
the guns are holstered. We
Hashtag
we always
kids BJJ.
practice proper gun safety. That's very important.
Of course.
Very important.
As with everything else.
There's never bullets inside the
so
gun.
as long
But
as we're not
it's
careless.
your right too.
It's your right, Josh. There's the disclaimer.
You have to justify anything.
There's no under 18. Even if there was an under 18, there's no justification for you having your Second Amendment right to protect yourself or others. That's your God-given right, man.
Absolutely.
Amen, brother.
Well, that's part of what
Tell
we're
us.
trying to.
Hell
That's
yeah,
part of
brother.
what we're trying to display here.
Shout
on
out
the
the United
podcast,
States.
The most important
up.
amendment.
America.
American flag.
First Amendment. First Amendment, the most important of all amendments, which we're doing right now. Your freedom of speech, your freedom to express what you believe and what you don't believe. If they get offended, okay, your freedom doesn't necessarily end, where they get offended, And the Second Amendment followed right after the first, and most important, to make sure that first one gets really protected always.
Talk your shit.
Straight up.
Right to
man.
bear arms.
Right to bear arms. That second, that almighty second.
And I know we were talking before the podcast started. We tried to kind of pause a little bit.
We made him shut up. We
tried to keep
We had to contain
everything
Ray
contained until the podcast started recording because the information was just spewing out. I know we were talking a lot about speaking of rights and our rights as Americans. This whole thing that's going on with the coronavirus and we're just not saying there's anything right or wrong or not taking any sides. For me myself, I try to consider myself open-minded. But we were talking about some of the restrictions and whether or not what we think about opening our businesses back up and like what we think is really going on with this thing. So, what do you think, Ray?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I think. I think that the novel coronavirus or whatever you want to call it. You can't call it the Chinese Wuhan virus
You
anymore.
can call it whatever. You can call it whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Freedom of speech.
This is
Say it.
But then
I've heard. Hold on. Let's talk. What are some of the names that we've heard called? The Wuhan flu.
The Kung flu.
The Kung flu.
The
The
Kung
Kung
flu.
The Chinese flu.
The Chinese flu, the
From
Chinese
China.
coronavirus, everything from China. You know? But everybody called it all of that. Everybody called it all of that. And it wasn't until they figured out, man, we could get this guy on some xenophobia, shit, or some more racial shit to the mainstream media to try to keep blinding everybody. This guy's a racist and all these things. And there we go. Even though a month and a half prior to that, everybody was calling it the Chinese coronavirus. I mean, you call Ebola hemorrhagic fever Ebola because it comes from the Ebola River in Africa. Dengue hemorrhagic fever because it comes from the Yoruba language dengue, which meant bleeding. All kinds of other stuff.
You know the thing. You know the thing
Spanish
that
flu.
The thing that bothers
West
me.
Nile virus.
You know the thing that bothers me the
You're making
most
a good point there, though.
is that like before this whole thing started, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a very political person. I of course I consider myself a little bit more progressive and liberal, right? But
Really?
yeah, I consider myself a little bit more liberal and progressive. Honestly, I would
Pause.
consider.
What you're trying to tell me is no politics.
What I
just
would say,
jiu-jitsu.
what I would say is, before I would say like, oh, man, I'm not a real big Trump fan, just because I don't like the way that he expresses himself, right? Not because of anything political, because the reality is that the figurehead that's sitting at the podium there, sitting as the president, is really just a puppet there. That person is not whatever. So I just didn't like the way that he expressed himself. But after this whole thing with the coronavirus started, it's so fucking obvious the way that this thing has been politicized, and it's just been turned into just this thing to where like anything that's done is just used to bash Trump. Where there's people dying, there's people losing their businesses and their jobs, there's people killing themselves for suicide, because. And these guys are worried about like making Trump look bad. I don't give a fuck what Trump is saying or what he's doing.
Whether you like him or not, there's no reason to be doing that.
I don't
right
care
now.
about that right now. I don't care about.
I care about fucking being able to feed my kids, go pay my house, go pay my rent, whatever you got to do. But it's true, man. Right now the media is so focused on bashing people, and like, bro, that's not what I care about. When the fuck can I open my business and can I make my money, dude?
Exactly.
Bro, when do I gotta stop worrying about somebody walking into my shit? Because, bro, at the end of the day, when people gotta eat, they gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna walk in and they're gonna do what they want to do.
Well, a lot of times, how everybody's, man, when Trump first came into office, I was like, oh my God, here we go, man. Hillary, Trump, which one? They both suck. Oh, Jesus, it doesn't matter. Then I started seeing Trump actually keep his word on a bunch of things. Weren't that big of a deal to me, but he was keeping his word for the first time in office. Almost all presidents, when they go in there, they promise you, everything and nothing happens. And then I started seeing how much the left went from being center left, to being far progressives, like doing things that I just really do not understand, as open-minded as I, am on so many issues. But there's just things that are just like, what the? Man, a few years ago you were screaming about this, and now you're pro this thing that you were screaming about just because it's whatever this other clown, the president Donald Trump, is in. So I stopped thinking, man, this guy might not be a clown. This guy he's a businessman. This country's supposed to run as a business. And then for all these years, all these people just constantly bashing, and he's doing nothing. African-American unemployment rate, which has always been horrible here, through the roof. Businesses, small businesses in general, which are the ones that really matter. The middle class, what keeps America, most of America out of poverty, employed. Small businesses. It's not big businesses. It's not Walmart. It's not Bezos.
For every one Walmart, there's 10 other small businesses.
Or 100, or more.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what really matters.
For sure.
And then the constant, keep them, always the regulations and all these crazy things. And I just started delving deeper into, I guess, what people call conspiracies, but they're real realities. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's a conspiracy. It depends on how deep you go, but I don't think it's a conspiracy to say that the media is very, very highly skewed against
Do you guys think like even if research right now shows that the mortality rate of the coronavirus is exponentially lower than what they had initially thought? Do you guys think if that, let's say, science comes out and Trump is all for reopening the country immediately, do you think the left or the really far progressive left would be immediately hating on Trump just to go against his word?
They are right now. You know, look at the murder hornets. The Asian murder hornets.
Dude, they came from North Korea or South Korea, somewhere in Asia out there.
They didn't come from China?
Well, maybe they came from China.
Okay, well, wherever. They came from Japan. They're Japanese wasps, hornets that they kill.
Have you
bees.
seen the videos?
Yeah.
They're murders. They take like 5 or 6 of them. They like Dojo Storm.
No.
They show up to like the beehive. They go inside to try to kill everybody, and then
Jesus.
Yo, murder hornets. Murder hornets. Put the gi on.
Put on
Catch
the
my boy Josh.
You guys know how people say that the Simpsons predict everything?
Did they talk about
Yo,
the
they
murder
fucking
hornets?
do,
No,
bro.
there's an episode. There's supposed to be an episode. I don't really watch The Simpsons, but there's supposed
Stop
to be an
lying.
episode where they get like a really bad flu and then people start
Oh
dying.
yeah, I
Yes,
saw that.
bro.
Yeah,
And
they
then
get
in
the-
that episode, somebody knocks something over and it like releases a bunch of like men
Yes,
like
bro.
killing bees.
But they do this shit for everything, bro.
Jesus, are you serious? Because I see that all the time. That's another prediction from The Simpsons. That's
Hey,
crazy.
Donald
I
Trump,
think
they
it's just the
predicted
Simpsons
everything.
have
They predicted
Simpsons
Trump.
have
They predicted
made
everything.
so many episodes. There's one episode that's gonna match this.
Yeah, there's
They
like-
made so many.
there's like
Yo, but the
15,000 episodes of
accuracy of the
One of
fucking
them is-
episodes is
All right,
crazy,
there's
cuz.
15,000. One of them is bound to match what's
Simulation,
happening.
dude.
Guys, wait. Before we get into the conspiracies, I wanted to talk to you, Ray. I wanted to talk to you about, a few things about, some of the nutritional things that you like and you recommend. Obviously, guys, if you guys don't know, Ray's, he's been a coach, has been on the UFC. Like,
How the fuck you gonna take us from conspiracy
No,
talk to
I'm
nutrition
just.
talk?
I just
All
wanted
right,
to
go
talk.
ahead,
I
bro.
wanted to talk to Ray
Curveball.
about some of.
This fucking guy.
He's got some really good stuff. Some recuperative things and that we've been discussing this week. But again, if you guys don't know, Ray Ceviche, he's in the MMA world. He's at least to me, he's freaking a superstar. And he was out there in the UFC and stuff, coaching and stuff. And he's got a lot of knowledge in that too. Before we get into conspiracies,
Yeah, Ray is. If you guys don't know, Ray is. I think on like underground MMA forums, Ray is a celebrity. He's known as Yoel Romero's translation
Bro.
guy. And I remember there was
best
he doesn't really know it. I think he kind of knows it. I think you like people showed it to you, but you never really knew how viral you became, because I was like on Twitter and shit.
Bro,
At
I
the
was
time,
watching that
Ray
shit.
was
bro.
the man.
And there was videos of Ray training with Yoel, and it's like, look at Yoel Romero's
Translated,
translator.
bro.
And
Straight
it's
up,
fucking
dude.
Ray flexing at the
I
end.
remember
They're
that.
like, everything around this man is the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
It's freaks of nature.
He's just
dog.
a mysterious figure. You just
Yo,
look
hey,
at him and you want to
bro,
know more
I swear
about
to
him.
God, before I knew who you were, dude, when they put you up on the UFC and you were translating, I was just the best fucking translator I had on the UFC, dog.
How do you do it, Ray? How do you keep up in such good shape? What are some of the supplements that you?
Cría fama y acuesta a dormir, so those are more legends, and I've just let them run, I haven't, but there's a lot of legends, involved that, might be, might not, but about nutrition, I'm real big on omnivorous diet. There's when I hear people telling me about, the carnivore diet or this diet or the keto diet, and I'm like, none of that is sustainable. The only diet that people are fatting about right now is a vegan diet. That is sustainable. You can be a vegan, and I still think it's lacking, especially if you're a combat athlete. You do need some real bioavailable protein, so somehow you would have to figure about getting in some of
What about
Jerry's.
peas?
That
Man,
makes sense.
Or like,
Yeah.
You know what? The bioavailability of whey protein or egg protein is so much higher. Whey protein, you absorb it so much faster. Post a hardcore training, you want to repair, that muscle. So you want to cause the insulin spike with the whey and the glycofuse with that cyclic dextrin, and flush your muscles and start repairing, especially if you're doing strength and conditioning, While training here, any good, if you're cutting weight, any real good BCAA with some EAAs involved and all that. I'm a big proponent of nootropics, You'd be surprised how much nootropics are used and hushed about,
You guys know what that is, nootropics? You heard of that?
Fuck no, bro.
I know what it is.
I got some
It's
from
because
On
of
It.
Ray.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so On It capitalized on using certain adaptogens and nootropics at certain dosages to create a nootropic effect. So imagine PEDs, which go way beyond steroids and peptides and hormones and all that shit, and going into PEDs, which some are legal and some are not, for your brain to cause hyperfocus. You have to constantly be checking on USADA and WADA's website to see what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Yeah, they change shit all the time, I've heard.
We did Worlds,
Yeah, I remember that.
3 of us, and a nootropic called phenylparacetam
I remember that.
was still legal with USADA.
I remember.
And everybody that meddled was taking tiny little scoops of phenylparacetam with water 15 minutes before, and the hyperfocus. 2 years later, here comes USADA, the Winter Olympics.
Did they ban it now?
And they ban it. Phenylparacetam.
No, I think it was banned in the Olympics already when we took it, but it wasn't banned in like.
No, it wasn't. It was in the Winter Olympics when it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I never said we took it.
I took that shit. Hey, listen, it was legal when I took it.
That was legal.
I think honestly, it's kind of crazy
not
how
steroids.
you saw this constantly.
No, it was really like
it was really cool.
Taking
It's
caffeine or like
it's like taking
It's a nootropic. It's a racetam. It increases your cholinergic absorption in your brain.
I wish I would have taken a little bit more
Honestly,
training
man,
with it, like a few weeks before.
I remember
the
when
tolerance builds like this.
I remember when you gave it to me, like, oh, try this, bro. Try this with the. You gave me like two.
I didn't use that voice.
The drug dealer in the corner, try it, bro.
No, that's just the ceviche.
I was like, I'd like for you to try.
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's nootropic.
So he gave me this
very
shit.
politely.
I remember going to train, and like seeing shit like I was in the Matrix.
It wasn't LSD or anything.
I could see shit. No, but I could see shit before it happened.
Wasn't shrooms?
Exactly. You become
Was it acid?
hyper-aware.
Like I could see my opponent's moves, and when they were moving, I already knew 2 or 3
Shot
steps
you
ahead of them.
I feel like Josh is trolling right
Crazy.
now.
Awesome.
No, I swear to God, bro.
No,
Hey,
yeah.
I swear to God, bro.
Guys.
The only problem. This is the only problem, Ray.
To get a
The only
little
problem
sick.
is that I took a small dose that year World. I think it was 2016 or 2017 Worlds. By the way, this shit was all legal at the time.
Of course.
This is just like taking a pre-workout. So I'm not taking any kind of banned fucking steroids
Yeah,
or anything like
go
that.
ahead. Talk
I
your
took
shit.
some of this shit and we had been taking it for about a week, and we went to Worlds. I took a little bit, and I don't think it was that, but after I think it was my first or second match at World, I felt nauseous as fuck.
Yep.
And I don't know if it was that, maybe being on like an empty stomach, and then I was like, fuck, like I'm just in my head, I'm gonna get out of this shit, and then I lost my.
That's what I was kind of saying. I wish we would have tried it a little bit, like a few more times before, just because I got a little sick as well too. Like my stomach was a little upset.
Well,
So maybe
Yeah,
it
but
was
when I
like,
trained with it, I didn't feel that way.
yeah, I had only
It's the
tried it
nerves
like
of
one
a
time
competition. No, I had tried
Yeah.
it.
But the thing is that we tested. We always did that with any little fight stack that I would have, that I would make on my own nootropic, an adaptogen here, an adaptogen there. Come on, guys, try this. Let me see how you perform. And once again, I want to make sure that everybody knows everything is checked first with USADA and WADA, and make sure the IOC, International Olympic Committee, the U.S. Anti-Doping Association and the World Anti-Doping, to see they have a list. You can check and you can see what's legal and what's not, even nootropics.
I was gonna tell you earlier, isn't it kind of crazy how I personally, some people talk shit about USADA, some people do whatever or don't or whatever. I think it's kind of crazy how they're constantly updating their shit and figuring out little things, man. Like there's a lot of little tricks that
because
unless you're in this shit, you don't know.
But it's good that USADA is on top of their game. I mean,
Constantly, bro. Every time they're coming out with some new shit.
I've had one of my students over there, one of my guys, from Unity Martial Arts, from Freedom Fighters.
I was gonna ask you, we got to talk about where you train. And
Where do you train, Ray?
I train at Carlson Gracie, Miami. My
Okay.
jiu-jitsu under Buyo. I train here at Technica with you guys on Tuesdays. The competition no-gi, the submission grappling classes you guys run.
He runs. He fucking goes with everybody on those days. Just
And
saying.
I get my ass whooped a lot too. And I'm the grappling coach, BJJ coach at Unity Martial Arts, which is Freedom Fighters, MMA.
Shout out Freedom Fighters.
My
You
boy.
Where's that? Where are you guys located? Give us a little
On-
information.
On 102 and Miller.
Yeah, 102 in Miller, man.
102 Street,
Miami,
or
Florida.
102nd Avenue and
Right
Miller
behind
Street.
the gas station with a bunch of Jeeps.
Formerly known formerly known as American Top Team
West Kendall.
West Kendall. So it's formerly known. Now it's under not under new management, same management. They just rebranded a little bit. Renovating the place, doing some big things, and
some
hopefully
great strikers and some great grapplers.
Yeah,
great wrestlers, great. I mean, the head professor there, Manolo Lopez. I mean, nobody. He's never posted anything about himself. But this guy has to be, bar none, probably the best or one of the best strike coaches in the world. I'm not talking about local. This I'm crawling. I'm starting to crawl compared to what this old man already forgot. I mean, his background in itself is amazing.
Where's he from?
He's from Cuba. He started karate, the hardest style of karate, Yoshimo. From there, he excelled into kickboxing, into Muay Thai, and I mean, just his. I can continue on and on with his accolades, but he won't like it. That's why, he'll tell me, please don't do that.
He's that old man that you fuck with, and he fucks you up because he doesn't look like a.
It'll be a bad day. It'll be a bad day.
I can imagine someone just starting a fight with him, thinking, "Oh, this little skinny guy is not."
Manolo is like the Yoda of striking. You see him, and he's just
in
there.
South Florida, I think.
And
he'll crack jokes with you and shit, but like he's very to himself. I've noticed over the years that you've been very loyal to that man, and you've always preached his coaching and his
striking style.
I believe in his style of kickboxing. Is he brought in Dutch and aggressive Muay Thai, mixed it with the angles of Taekwondo. First national team Taekwondo in Cuba. First national team. Head of the national team, Pan American champion. He'll get bothered if I start saying all his accolades. People would come from Europe, kickboxers. In those incredible days where kickboxing was just to train with him. They would line up. They would set up just to train with Manolo. His crew in Cuba, that is the closest thing to a perfect samurai that I have ever seen because of how honest and the philosophy that he taught me. I'm indebted to him. I'm indebted to him as much as I'm indebted to Michelle, too, for teaching me the martial arts and the aspect of Bushido. None of it talks about victory, honor, sincerity, duty, loyalty, heroic courage, compassion, and trust. But
Shout out to Booyah, man.
Yeah. But Manolo told me there's no perfect samurai. It's impossible to keep those 7 tenets. It's a lie. The guy that tells you, no, because I'm this and I walk this. Dude, be careful with that guy because he's lying to you. Because we all just got to realize, look in the mirror and remember, you've been a piece of shit. Stop fucking judging other people and being hard. Oh, I'm a martial artist. No, walk that line, and when you deviate, you know your line. Slap yourself back in.
Bro.
There's no perfect samurai.
Call yourself on all your own bullshit.
There's no
Exactly.
perfect samurai.
Always call yourself out on your own bullshit.
And you'll evolve up.
I like that. There's no perfect samurai.
None.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from my mentors in jiu-jitsu, like Ceviche, in terms of things like that, where I think a lot of times we try to, as human beings, as martial artists, we try to be perfect, right? And we think we might even give ourselves the illusion that we're superior and perfect because,
you know how to fight a little bit.
I can defend myself. I can walk into any room and
be confident.
Choke someone.
I can walk into any room and
break some arms.
fuck any person up, right?
He's like, I just fucking want to break an arm.
But it's true. It's like we should strive to live like that samurai mentality.
Yeah.
But we have to also at the back of our mind realize that there's no such thing as that perfect samurai. We're all capable. As much as we like to judge like that piece of shit, we're all capable of being that
piece of shit.
That same person.
That's all inside of us.
And constantly try to share your knowledge and that type of energy towards somebody else, right?
Sure.
Like the same thing I train under you guys, and you guys have always showed that in class. After every single class, we'll have hard training sessions, promote that. When you talk to people off the mat, you're talking to everybody individually and trying to promote, constantly promote that subject of A, B.
It's like the Bushido code, man.
Be honest, man. Like, you want to spread the word of the samurai, keep that shit going. It's a good religion. It's a perfect way to say it, bro.
I really want.
And that's why we need our jiu-jitsu gyms back up.
Ceviche, the way
Hold on,
Just
guys. Hold on.
jiu-jitsu.
Time out. Roman's gonna say his 5 words for the podcast.
I really wanted to make a point that if you guys remember from last episode, Ray Ceviche, he actually is the reason that me and Matias started doing jiu-jitsu. And man, I really do appreciate it. That was
Where's the clap?
Where's the clap?
Yeah, already knows some shits.
Hey.
Has played such a
I
great
got you,
impact.
buddy.
So I really want to say thank you.
Ceviche, I look at Ceviche as someone spreading the gospel of martial arts.
Hey, that's the best way. Bro, this motherfucker's a pastor of
Ceviche is the
jiu-jitsu.
one that sent me on this journey.
He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu too.
Both
So.
of you guys.
And
Ray.
not just the people on this couch though. A lot of people
yeah.
in the sport. In
Oh yeah,
Miami,
and if you
know what I'm saying?
if you think about it exponentially, right? Because all of the people that started, like Roman and Matias, and even I've
Us,
been
man.
influenced.
You have an influence, bro.
I've been
You have a huge
influenced
influence.
myself.
I remember
right?
being
all,
warmed up.
all of us have also influenced other people, right? So his
spread, bro.
Just this one person has created this
He's touched
exponential
other
spread.
people without people
Jiu-Jitsu
knowing about it.
network.
Oh yeah, and the warm ups. Warm ups before Miami Open.
I remember that,
And,
man. Warming up, going into competition.
I remember what Ray said to me to start training
Tell me,
jiu-jitsu.
was he
and
was-
because it hurt me because he's not nice about it either. So I've known Ray
he's
since high
straightforward,
school.
man.
Yeah,
He just tells you
I've
how it
known
is.
Ray since high school. I used to train with his son. I used to train wrestling with Mika. And I saw after I
Roman
graduated
beat him.
high school, I decided
I was gonna get to that
Roman,
too, but
we fucking got
Let-
you.
let Matias, come
Roman
on,
versus Mika.
let's let him finish.
So
He's on a good
I
roll.
decided not to go wrestle in college, and I saw Ray at the gym one time, and I said hey to him. I went to say hi, and he looked at me. He told me I was wasting my talents.
Yeah, but
Sorry, bro.
he asked you if you were training, and you said no.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, hey, you were wasting your talents because you were a hell of a wrestler back in high school, and that really transferred to jiu-jitsu.
And I was like, damn. And that week I went and I signed up for jiu-jitsu.
That makes me feel so good because I know what all martial arts are awesome. There's something special about jiu-jitsu. Wrestling is awesome, kickboxing, bar none. No gi, I love it more than anything else. But jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu with the gi. There's something special about that, dude.
Especially when you learn to love it, it's crazy, man.
the journey too, man.
So I'm so happy
The
because there's
struggles.
more to it, man, than just continuing.
That was in
progress.
January 2017.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wowzers. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut you off, Roman. You're asking for another one, bro.
Listen,
I feel like
that's
3 is
That's why,
reasonable.
that's why he doesn't talk.
I feel like 3 is a reasonable amount.
Roman está borracho.
Borracho means drunk for all the gringos.
We don't even have any more of those, Roman.
No, the other one from Jay Wakefield.
He's usually not that talkative.
The lime one.
Okay.
Listen, Ray. So,
Bro, I don't know if you guys just heard what Ray just said. Roman said 10 words in this podcast, and he said he's never that talkative. What's going on, bro?
Look,
Okay.
man, you guys keep on a good pace. I just enjoy, watch. When someone
No,
gets
no,
to
hey,
quiet
let me
a
tell
little
you,
too
bro.
long, I
You
sneak
make
in.
this fucking
know what?
podcast somehow, dude. Always.
I'm gonna drink one too, bro. Why not? Thank you.
there we go.
Jesus.
So now you know what. I
Hey,
mean,
go ahead,
we talked. I wanted to ask him about nutrition. I wanted to ask him about the nootropics. What about the new healing element that you've been
I
telling
want to
me
watch
about?
JR open that.
Yo, JR, open that beer right fucking now,
I bet you
dude.
it's good. Open it up. I bet you it's good.
Nah, it's press that shit like 6.
Hey, God give us help, guys.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers, thumbnail.
Hey, thumbnail here, everybody. Bring the beers.
Hey.
Thanks, Strange Beast, for these
Shout
great
out,
beers.
shout out our audience on the sidelines. Yo, honestly, another story I could give out of Ray was I fought a former opponent that became my teammate as time grew on, and he was in the there was different rooms. There was a red corner and the blue corner. It was a cage grappling match, and he came into our corner because he had another student competing in I think it was kickboxing at the time, whatever it was. And he comes up to me because he knows I'm fighting his other student or another teammate of his. And he was like, hey, bro, good luck out there. Have fun, bro, and just fucking put on a show, bro, And I think that's, another little example of, constantly spreading that energy of, hey, bro, it doesn't matter if we're not on the same team.
You guys put on a show, though. That was as a matter of fact, that was the first cage submission grappling only match in Florida ever
Shout
held.
out Samoa, bro. Good match,
You
bro.
know?
Now he's a teammate of mine and a good training partner of mine.
What company was that for?
For 305, and they were the first ones to do it. They brought it
305
out,
fights.
never had it,
We
and then everybody imitated.
we had the first cage jiu-jitsu matches in Florida, which was cool.
We were still working out the rules, and that for you and Samoa,
We
you
said
guys
all fucking
all
rules.
rules. Yeah, some other
Yeah, bro.
another somebody else later. Oh, we don't want to do this. No, we don't want you. You guys off the everybody that.
Yeah,
night,
that was
like,
one thing I noticed,
goes.
bro. When it was both
Everything goes.
the team I was with at the time and you guys, it was like they asked me, they're like, hey, bro, like this guy's saying he wants to do all rules. You guys are a little bit lower rank. I was, nah, bro, fuck that. All rules. All rules. I don't give a fuck what rules.
What a show that was. Back and forth. Takedown, reversal, takedown, leg lock, escape, leg lock, choke, back take, escape. It was the most exciting match of all the kickboxing matches, grappling matches that night.
And the coolest thing that what I was talking about was it was cool is because you came up to both of us, or well, you were with him, but before and after the match, you told you like, hey, bro, you guys put on an exciting fucking show, bro, and that was what it was about, and it was dope. And again, bro, like that energy of like being a samurai constantly and against opponents and stuff like that. Obviously, it became to the point where now we're teammates, and I train with the man, and he's a good friend of mine. He's really cool. Again, shout out Samoa. And holy shit, bro, we got some cake, bitch.
No cake sponsor yet, but
Nah, we don't got a cake sponsor. We don't even know the cake's name, but
Cake
he's here for
Daddy.
some
Cake Daddy. Who said Cake Daddy? Somebody said it, right?
Oh shit,
It's Cake Daddy, right?
Cake Daddy.
Cake Daddy.
Cake Daddy.
Hey, shout out Cake Daddy. We got a new sponsor, Cake Daddy. You guys are gonna
Yo, come on, bring that over here, and bro, you got to show us the dogs, bro. They're cute as hell.
come here, Marcelo. Take
Yo, I've
this.
been missing Starchy. Where's he been?
Starchy's at the house.
Since we didn't have Starchy.
We're missing
Starchy
him.
slacking, so we got some
we got
new
two
members.
cute ass dogs, bro. Hey, thank you so much, Marcelo, bro.
Marcelo.
Appreciate that, brother.
Our friend Marcelo and good training partner has brought us some homemade, made from scratch.
I'm gonna fuck
guava
that shit up, dude.
Guava cream cheese.
Randy looking at that shit like, come on, that shit.
This,
Bruzo.
Guava cream cheese cake.
I love this
What is
dog.
your Instagram tag, my friend? Cake Daddy? So, guys, look out. Instagram at Cake Daddy. We will be shouting him out once he creates the Instagram because I don't think he has one yet.
I don't think you guys. I think you can't hear us.
And what are our two
Can you hear
doggies'
us?
names?
Yeah, no, we hear us. I'll cut that out.
Brown one's Rocky.
Rocky's the brown one.
Roxy.
Roxy's the white one.
At first, I thought
Rocky
you said
and Roxy.
round one. I'm like, there's both
Hey guys,
rounds.
It's all right. We got bathroom breaks on this podcast, brother. There's no worries.
Okay, so
it's okay.
we're gonna let Ray have a quick bathroom break. He's got a pee-pee. He's got to use the little girl's room.
Hey, bro.
Unisex bathrooms.
Oh, we're gonna try it now.
Oh,
Thank you,
shout
man.
out Marcelo Fur, man. We appreciate the cake, dude. That was cool, man.
Cake delivery.
Appreciate
from this
that, brother.
company.
mean,
Shout
are
out
those
Marcelo,
forks
bro.
in
He's
the
a
back?
brown belt, competes a lot in Miami. He's cool as fuck, bro. Good guy.
Man, I love when oh god, we get Ray talking. He's
Yo, hey, Ray's the fucking man, bro. Hey, you guys,
I'm gonna
hey.
tell you, we've all everybody's been influenced by this guy.
Yo, hey, Josh. Yo, for real.
He's
You
an
guys don't
OG.
say
Are those forks?
Ray's influenced every fucking person in Miami Jiu-Jitsu, bro.
I think anybody who's been
In the same fucking room.
in the same room as Ray
Bro, let me tell
will
you.
feel the energy, right?
Yes.
Much
intense
like,
energy.
He
very
walks
intense.
around, he's like, yo, this guy looks fucking
So
cool,
Mika,
bro.
Mika and I,
but like it's also like the whole like that whole family's good. You know, we had by the
yeah,
way,
Matias.
for those of you guys who don't know,
We had Diesel.
We had Danny Fundora, who is Ray's brother, on the podcast a couple of episodes ago, and you know he's one of our best training partners coming up, just like
you
Ray
already,
is.
yeah.
small business
And like
owner,
you know the
same
whole
mission.
and the whole family.
Roman's like, I want this fucking cake now, dog.
I could tell.
He's
look
like,
at his
yo,
eyes.
thanks a lot, Marcelo. I want the fucking cake, bro.
But yeah,
I want
Jamie
back.
cutting people off again, man.
yeah, it's just normal.
Nobody notices. Nobody notices.
whoa,
Oh, dude, move that Mac, move that computer.
No,
bro.
no, you're good. It's good. I don't want to go crazy.
Move that shit, bro.
bro,
No, hold it that way. So
Yeah.
it falls
Yeah.
off.
No, I
Tilt it,
opened it
tilt
and
it.
it fucking
Is this yours?
exploded.
bro, Jamie, drain the computer, bro. That's
Don't drink it that way.
He's pouring it into the keyboard. So anyway,
You got napkins here?
as Ray comes back, you know,
Ready, use your feet again.
I think it goes without saying for a lot of us that we like to thank Ray and you know the entire lineage, you know the whole family, the whole Fundoras.
It's a family of
For-
samurais, dude.
yeah.
Like they're all of them. The kids, all your kids train. From the little one, Mika's a badass wrestler, and
Shout out Mika.
Purple Bone Jiu Jitsu. Hey, which we're gonna set up the super fight between Mika and Roman, since Roman was
for the
talking all this
rematch.
smack. Roman was a
Yeah,
senior.
so
Roman
Ray,
was a
if you
senior
didn't
in
hear
high
the
school.
last podcast or the one before that, Roman says that when Mika was like 12 or 13 years old,
Roman was 17.
and Roman was like 20. He beat him by a
Miko
point.
was like 11,
He
bro.
beat him by a
Really?
point in a sparring match.
I've had 8 people call me to tell me about it. I was like, and every time I'm like, yeah, Roman is really good. You know, it's true.
Roman was
It's
also
true.
a senior,
So,
and I think
wait,
Miko was in
wait
the,
a minute.
in the
We don't
fourth
have-
grade.
We don't have to rub that
sixth
into
grade.
him. you
But
know?
wait a minute. We are going to
We're gonna make things right.
We're going to redo the match. We're gonna film it. We're gonna stream it.
We're gonna commentate on it.
We're gonna stream. We're gonna commentate on it. Okay, Ray is gonna be there. He's gonna commentate the whole thing.
I'll ref.
And you know,
Nah,
it's,
dude,
it's gonna be
nah.
great.
I'm gonna ref.
Nah, Rennie's gonna ref,
Jiu-jitsu or
bro. Come
wrestling?
on now, dog. He's got fans.
What are we doing?
What was
What are we
the
doing?
first match, Roman? What'd you be doing? Wrestling?
How'd you catch him? Tell us about the match.
Wrestling.
Walk
Yeah,
us through
tell
the
him
match.
Tell us how you-
I'll ref the ref.
Tell us how
the
you
wrestling
dominated.
match.
How good did you do?
Roman, move
Let me
your mic.
clarify that. What I was saying in the story
He beat him by an advantage in wrestling.
is, yeah, I beat him in wrestling, but the moment I went to him
How'd
in
you beat him, though?
jiu-jitsu,
Did
he
you-
beat me.
Did you pin him in wrestling?
That was the point of the story. The moment I went to jiu-jitsu,
I'm not gonna put none of that in the
beat me
clip, bro.
Right away.
Would
I'm
you
not putting
still
none of that
would you
Yeah,
still
listen,
beat him in
Roman.
wrestling?
Super
Roman.
fight.
No.
I still want to see a super
Roman,
fight
talk
with Mika 2.0
freely.
now.
Talk freely. We'll cut it out. We'll cut it out.
Hide the
All
parts
I'm gonna
from
hear on this
Mika.
clip is I fucked up Mika, and that's it, dude.
Hey, Mika, we're gonna set up a
Roman
super
was the
fight.
captain of the wrestling team, or the co-captain, or yeah, you were co-captain, then you became captain, and Roman was
Yeah,
an
'cause
awesome competitor and great teammate all the time. I'm really glad to see him doing jiu-jitsu, but yeah,
Hey, he came here because of you.
you know, I'm
He
just
started
happy to see
training.
him. You know,
Yeah.
tearing up that cake.
Yeah.
Tell me how good it is, bro.
All right, hey,
This shit just
You eat
became a
that
clip,
cake.
bro.
let's wrap this up so we can eat that cake.
Nah.
No, wait.
Cakes.
Before
Wait,
we
wait,
wrap
wait,
this
wait.
up-
No. We didn't
gotta-
even get to the conspiracy theories.
Yes, come on, man.
All right,
So we're in the middle of it
All
already.
right,
We're
you
like,
guys-
nah, let's
you
change
guys
subjects.
got, y'all got time. Let's go.
Hey, listen. Let's talk about this. What do you think about this whole pandemic? Plandemic.
Well, I don't think it was planned the way of some
pass that shit to me,
crazy, but I think that the idea of a crisis is not being taken for granted. I think it's being politicized.
Is that kind of social distancing?
Social distancing might be.
I mean the cake passing.
Oh. I mean, listen to this. Great. You'll never think about this now. Little kids will never be able to blow out birthday cake candles again and cut the cake and eat it. You're gonna have to get a
For a
fan.
little
Well,
while.
you know what they
Just
say. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, but all he's saying is look at all these changes that we're going through in our current days.
Masks,
Like,
no,
it's your birthday. You're going to show up to a place with masks.
Why'd you look at me like
Come
that,
on.
Josh?
Well, the mask. Go to concerts, clubs. How do you not mosh in a
Jiu-jitsu
mosh pit?
competitions.
Jiu-jitsu
You can't show up. You
competitions.
can't spectate. What?
So much has been controlled, man, from the liberties, man. This isn't the land of the safe, home of the cowards. This is
No.
the land of the free, home of the fucking brave. You know, we've never. Let's all just stay inside until something better or bad or whatever happens. You know, we've never been.
How long are we gonna have to stay inside for?
Dude? Listen, this concept of quarantining the healthy
That
doesn't
doesn't
make
work.
much sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
All the models have been shown to be wrong. We know that herd immunity is a real thing. There's a difference. If you know someone has the flu, you don't go around them. Testing is a real thing that needs to be treated. There's certain a demographic, an age group that is sicker, that could potentially get worse than others. But other than that, herd immunity, creating the antibodies for this new virus. It's a new virus. Coronavirus has existed for millennia, eons. But this is the novel. Novel means new. Coronavirus, the COVID-19.
It's a new evolving strain, but that happens all the time. You know, things evolve, and then
And also the
so
thing
does
was
our
like,
immunity.
system. If
Yeah.
not, we would all be dead as soon as we're born. Because
I just wonder what's going on in
And
Sweden,
also-
where they decided not to completely shut down, and they're still running partial business, right? And they're still at least quarantining the sick.
the thing is that
healthy,
thing is that people are looking at the numbers right now. But in reality, if you're smart, you got to look at the numbers a year from now. Because, for example, Sweden might have a spike in cases, but then have a steady decline. What we're doing, we're keeping everybody inside.
When we go back out,
As soon as you go back out,
you're gonna get sick.
everybody who's been inside, weakening your immune system.
weakening your immune system. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're not being exposed to new viruses and things that you need to create antibodies for.
Of course.
As soon as you go out, of course there's going to be a second wave. Of course. What's going to happen? Those of us who realize, who have common sense. Nah, I'm good, bro.
Yo, hey, by the way, Marcelo, fire cake, bro.
Hey, Cake Daddy.
Cake Daddy is real, dog. That shit was
shit's fire.
fire, dude.
Hey.
Wait. Continue on this
Shut up.
immunity thing,
But
because
those of us-
I agree. Like you can't just stay home and build your immunity system. That's not how you do it. And then it's crazy that
Yeah,
like,
you build your immune system by being out there.
it's
in the
crazy how
shits.
they like videos come out of doctors talking about this, and then all of a sudden
They
they
take them
clip
down.
Yeah, they take
No,
them down.
YouTube is taking down videos of university doctors and scientists talking about like the
Coming with numbers and facts.
YouTube.
Facebook, too.
IG, Facebook, all these people that are, no, we rather listen to what the WHO has to say. The WHO initially was saying, if you guys just remember,
That's
how they
basically
educated
taking
are
away
they
your
on
First
the World
Amendment
Health,
right
the
to
World.
share.
You're talking about the World Health
the
Organization.
World Health Organization.
They were saying no masks at first.
No, they were saying more than that. It's not human. It's not a human contagion. It's not human to human transferable. That all this information came from China, knowing damn well that it was. But that's not proven yet. Sooner or later it will. This doesn't become a racial thing. This doesn't become an emotional thing. This is logic. This is logical thinking. This is what's right and what's right. And what's wrong is what's wrong. No matter how much dirt you put on right, it's still gonna be right. And no matter how many diamonds you put on wrong and on shit, it's still gonna be shit and wrong. So you speak the truth and you govern yourself accordingly.
Yeah, and then if they're wrong, then let people come out to them and prove them wrong. You get
All
me?
the
Like,
models have been wrong. Every single
Yeah,
model.
they were talking about
I hate Instagram models.
200 they were talking about 200,000 deaths.
Before that, they
Even-
were talking about 2 million.
Yeah, but without mitigation. They were talking without mitigation, 1.2 million to 2 million deaths. With mitigation, 200,000 deaths. Right now,
500,000 in the U.S.
Right now, we're talking, what is it, like 80,000?
No, 100.
I was gonna say
100,000.
I've heard that I don't know shit. So
There's 100,000 deaths right now?
No. Do you want to know how they got
Not
that
yet, but
statistic
that's the
though?
models.
I saw a scientist talking about how exactly they got that statistic. Do you want to know how? They said that every year people die from anywhere from 20,000 to 80,000 people die from the regular flu.
That was in New York.
They were speculating that the coronavirus was 4 times more deadly than the flu. So all they did was multiply the range.
times 4.
Times 4. So they're like, this is why we're expecting 80,000 to 320,000 people.
Well, what about all the actual mortality, all the deaths
And-
that have been
and
attributed to
to
corona?
me-
Oh, yeah,
but
that's
they
another
weren't?
thing.
To me, that seems so
I was
simplistic.
on my way over here, I was listening to a radio show or some podcast or something, and they were talking about how Trump and these guys are trying to get some new regulations passed in terms of how you classify a COVID death. Because these
you're
guys-
95? You're dying?
Because
COVID.
Yeah, because
No.
no, it's not that. It's just
Even
like, for example,
COVID-like symptoms.
no, what happens is, for example,
Yeah, absolutely.
let's say you have pneumonia. You already had pneumonia, and then you catch COVID, and you die.
COVID.
You died
More,
of COVID.
more money for the hospital.
Died of COVID.
39,000.
So
39,000, right?
39,000.
Yeah. The more COVID related deaths they can put.
plus, on top of that, the number of
Isn't that
infected,
strange?
the number of infected is substantially underreported, because there's some studies out of some scientists in Harvard who were saying that it's up to 50% of the people walking around with corona, whatever, are asymptomatic, which means they aren't getting tested, which means the number you're talking about, the denominator to give you the number of the mortality rate is double.
I've also heard that if you die in a car accident with coronavirus, it's a coronavirus death.
Yeah,
Well,
I think that's basically
that's-
the
Yeah,
hospital.
but that's just one example. There's 1,000
that sounds a
different
little.
things.
That sounds a little kooky.
I think
No,
the
no, but that's
hospitals
the thing.
maybe
But I'm
inflate
sure-
some
I'm
He
sure
was
of those
driving.
numbers.
As soon as he crashed,
You know?
he died of COVID, and then he crashed.
No, he got tested. No, that really happened. Like,
Because they
these
get
things-
more funding. They get more
They
money.
get more money from it.
The
man.
thing is,
man, fuck the government
as
on the left
logical-
and the right, man. They all suck,
yeah.
man. God,
The thing
man.
is, as logical as it all sounds, try telling all of this to someone who lost a family member to.
Oh yeah, for
course.
sure,
COVID-19.
for sure. For
No,
sure.
hey, it's understandable,
Agreed.
bro. But of course, but like at the end of the day, dude, like, bro.
What,
I'm
you're gonna
sorry,
shut
when you look
down-
up the
shut
fucking
down
numbers from
everything?
2009 to 10 about the with the swine flu, Have you looked up those
yeah,
numbers?
But this isn't the swine flu,
60,000,
man.
right?
No.
60.
Dude, 60,000, bro.
More.
It says between 09 and 10 or something million, bro.
Oh, throughout the world.
Yeah,
Right,
bro.
right. In the U.S. alone, there was 60-something thousand. It was
That's-
not a big deal. But here we go. We're
It
bringing,
was nothing, bro.
try telling that to somebody. Man, I feel you. But then we're bringing emotion versus logic.
Right.
And you can't. It's impossible to translate both of them. You know, logic is always going to be Trump. I don't mean Trump, Mr. President. I mean Trump. He's going to be number one. You know,
Yeah.
logic has to be implied in all of this to make the better.
But
decision.
when is it worth it to get 14.5% unemployment, or when you're
14,
basically?
No,
dude, we're at like 20. We're gonna be at like over 20% unemployment.
I think we're
These
currently
numbers are
around
gonna be
15. Obviously,
these
but I'm
numbers
saying,
are gonna be worse than the Great Depression.
gonna
in the
tell
next 3 to
when-
4 months, there's gonna be.
Oh,
Massive
we're going
unemployment.
to a recession next. That's the next stage.
We're in a recession, bro.
Guys, but it should not.
Officially.
It
We're
should
in
not have
recession.
happened. Something like this, where everyone has to remain indoors. Man, nuclear fallout, understood. All this. It was this fake, this situation, this pandemic was turned into a huge crisis, more than it should have been. I think
it was over. I think it was over.
Of course, bro.
Overreaction.
Every single
Yeah.
day since this pandemic's been happening because of my job. Every single day I've worked. Dude, in the last 2 weeks, people are not out doing shit. People are just out because they're like, bro, this shit's fucking
Oh yeah,
on, bro.
the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks,
People have been on the
people
streets
are
like
out.
if it's a normal
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
I get traffic at
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
Yeah,
Bro,
since-
3 weeks
since-
ago, no traffic.
Since
Qué
May
rico, bro.
1st, yeah.
Oh,
Since
awesome.
May 1st, it seems to me that people are like, "Fuck this shit."
They're fed
Yes,
up.
bro.
They're fed up.
I see people who are like, oh, fuck,
I'm fed
I gotta
up.
wear a mask.
And you know what the
Hey.
funny thing about this shit is? I don't see any fucking like people dropping dead on the street.
That's what I thought was going to
I
say.
don't see no
right?
fucking.
I
I don't
haven't,
see
bro,
no
I don't know a
hospitals
single
overflowing.
fucking person, bro.
I don't see no hospitals overflowing with dead people. I don't see no fucking refrigerated tractor trailers
I don't know a
with dead
single
bodies.
person, bro, that
Like-
has given me a crazy life story about
No,
this shit.
no,
Not a
we know,
single
no, we
person,
we
bro.
all know somebody who's been
I
affected.
don't,
by
bro.
this.
Hey,
I,
I do.
my mom got sick, bro, but that's about
I
it.
know
And she was
somebody-
good.
Your mom had it, right?
Yes, and she was fine, bro.
How the fuck can you say you don't know a single person? Hold on,
Bro,
that's gotta be a
that-
clip.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
say you don't know a
Hey,
single
I'll
person.
clip that shit.
And his mom.
Hey, I'm telling you right now.
mama.
Yo, I'm telling you, bro. Hey, she told me you work for, and my uncle in New York as well. They both told me they're like, I was sick as hell and like felt like a normal fucking cold or fucking I felt a little cough and shit and that's it, bro. Have you heard that the average death rate of the coronavirus is higher than the death rate? The average death rate, bro.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
What's funny?
The average death rate for the coronavirus is higher than the average death rate.
What's funny is that in New York, if you look at
That
the-
means like 3% of people typically die. Not because of
Bro,
corona,
like,
but
and no,
die
the
one
age,
percent
no,
of
no,
people
no,
are gonna
like
die.
the age, the
Yeah,
age.
like yeah,
No, bro,
it's
like
a
the
metric.
average person dies at 83, then the fucking coronavirus is 92. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like that's the average death.
The mortality rates in New York
Or
for
range,
heart
I said
disease,
range.
hypertension, all these things,
I bet they dropped.
diabetes, all these diminished,
Huh.
and the coronavirus
Right.
went up.
Well, that's another thing I heard. Another thing that I heard about the statistics coming from New York is that, for example, they took the statistics from last year, right? And they said, okay, 20,000 people died from heart disease last year, right? If anything over 20,000 deaths, that's coronavirus,
Jesus.
right? Because you understand what I mean? Like, so any deaths that were over 30, like what we had last year, that's this coronavirus deaths.
Guys, those 39 grand that they're giving to each one of these patients that passes, man.
By the way, guys, these are fucking like.
I'm dying to get the coronavirus. I
These
want
are
40 grand.
kooky conspiracy theories that we have that are
I
fucking
understand
not
what
true.
Jamie was saying, though. I know what you're saying now, Jamie, and I know where it came from. It came from a fucking podcast with Elon Musk. And what
Yes,
he was
dude.
saying was that people are coming up
He's
to him.
moving. He's talking about leaving California.
People were coming up
Going
to
where?
him and saying,
Texas.
Oh yeah, because
Hey,
Texas.
and
is-
by the way, exactly
Yeah.
what they say on the podcast, that motherfucker knows stats, bro. Like whether
yeah,
you like it or
man.
not.
I swear to God, I trust Elon Musk, man.
yeah,
Straight
bro,
the
whatever
fuck
he
up, bro.
says, bro.
That's the smartest motherfucker on the planet.
Yo, hey,
Whatever
Melo,
he
you're working
says,
for the
I'll
right
trust
fucking
blindly.
guy, bro.
Elon, I'm with you, bro.
Me too.
And what he said was
I'm
that
with
someone came up
fucking
to
Elon.
him
I'm
and
moving to
said
fucking
that
Texas with Elon.
someone that was like 92
Not
died of
Florida.
the coronavirus, and he was saying, okay, well, the
The oldest
age,
fucking people,
like the
right?
average age of death in this country is like way lower than that, so they live their
No, hey, there's no.
Well, that's
hey,
some fucked up
guys,
ass shit to say.
there-
I don't
there's-
agree with that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
he's-
saying, oh, they should have been
But he
dead
has
all the
a
way.
point.
It's logical.
Well, he's a robot. So.
Hey, listen.
Elon is a robot.
You know, he's from the future. He's actually from
Hey,
the future. He
that
came back
doesn't
in
Hold on,
time.
hold
Time
on.
traveler.
Go elaborate.
He's a time traveler all day. If you really listen to everything that he has to say, dude, he's far ahead.
No,
way.
he was
further.
talking about
When
one
he
of his
was
new
on-
companies, Neuralink. Have you guys heard of
Yeah,
Neuralink?
wait, real quick. When he was on the Rogan podcast,
Oh, bro, he smoked
the
weed?
first time,
Did anybody buy his
the first time he
flamethrower?
said some shit that blew my mind. He's like, if we are living in a simulation, right, then that must mean that reality is really, really boring.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, just the fact that you want to get into a simulation.
Think about that shit.
Into this life.
Cause this shit's boring.
No.
Yeah,
Sometimes this
no,
shit's
shit's
boring.
crazy.
So imagine
Hey, you
real
all sit
life.
down at
If
the
this
crib
is the
and like,
simulation,
Video games.
if this is the
Maybe
simulation,
this is a
reality
video
must be
game.
like, fuck, it's in a
Yeah, like
cage.
this is your game and shit, bro.
No, listen to this. He has a new company called Neuralink, and he basically wants to put a microchip in your brain.
Yeah, I
and
heard about
right
that.
off the bat, I'm like, this is a horrible idea, right?
No, it's a great fucking
I like
idea.
it.
I just want to
listen,
watch
no,
it.
no,
I like
listen,
it.
listen to how he
Sells
completely.
it.
Black Mirror
he
stuff?
I'm sold. I want one. So he said. He's like, so we already have a symbiotic relationship with technology, right?
With our phones,
We
yeah.
depend on our phones. We depend on our computers.
Where's my
Whatever.
phone?
He's like, I just wanted to take it to the next
Check my
level.
notifications.
I want you to have access to that processing power immediately, right? So this is how he sells it. He says, right now we have a lizard brain. We have our lizard brain, our instinctual brain, whatever, and we have our smart brain, what makes us human, right? Even though we're very intelligent creatures, we wouldn't give up our lizard brain. Nobody would, right? He said, I just want to add another layer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, that motherfucker's on another
Inception.
level, bro. Yeah, levels
Yeah.
on levels on levels.
That sold me.
Levels on levels on
I'm
levels.
sold.
Wait, what do you mean another level?
Another layer to your brain.
Like, you know
When
how you
do
got
I
like
get
your
it?
instincts and
Your
then you got
lizard
your smart
brain.
shit?
Eat,
Like another-
sex.
You're right. It's
You know,
the
eat,
instincts.
sex. That's it.
Yeah, survival.
That's it, right? Survival.
Yeah, basic primal instincts.
Your
Yeah.
human brain. Van Gogh. The Mona Lisa. She's so beautiful.
Right.
You know,
The
like,
prefrontal cortex is what
That
gives
bitch
you
ugly, bro.
emotion, decision making, and
she's
all that
smiling.
type
Is
of
she
shit.
not? She's smiling. Is she frowning? Yeah. Ugly chick.
She
bro.
seems sad as fuck, dog. What's up with her?
Hey man, I love this text that you sent me. This beware of useful idiots.
Oh yeah. A lot of
when we talked about this healthcare, poverty.
Oh, the 8 tenets.
Yeah.
That's well, I mean, if anybody reads any country that has become socialist, I don't care what they name it, progressive socialist, democratic socialist, fulano de tal, communistic
It's all
socialist.
socialist. It doesn't work.
It's all socialism, and sooner or later, the elite will remain elite. The middle class will cease to exist. Everyone will become impoverished to count and rely on the government for the handout that they give every single month, or the microchip that you have so you can sell and buy. All these things are real things. They've been talked about for years. You know, everything, all these globalist agendas, all these elite that love globalism.
Is it a new world order? You think that's what's
New
what they're
world
trying to
order.
make?
New world order is for real. You know,
But I
one
never-
world government. I'm
But
serious.
I
guys.
never understood. Listen, I never understood, and I'm a conspiracy theorist too.
This is actually when we.
But
started
I
the
never
podcast.
understood
This is
what
I
the
wanted to
issue
ask
was
Ray.
with globalism.
I'll tell you what the issue is.
Because
with global-
because in theory, it makes sense if I could just fucking like if like there's enough food to go around for
agreed.
I you know what I mean, like in theory.
But that's not, that doesn't need to be globalism. That could be capitalism. You could sell, or even better yet, that could be just being kind and giving the food away instead of throwing it away, how they do in this country and a bunch of other ones. It could be there could definitely be a better way. But every culture is special. You can't tell me that the idea of Americanism, see, being American isn't a race. It's not a creed. It's not a religion. It's not it's a creed. It's like you have this incredible experiment called the Constitution, and forget about who wrote it and what the norms of those days were. Just the equality based on that Constitution
Yeah,
is special.
there's no document like it.
Nothing. The most beautiful document.
You couldn't write that shit today.
And America is an experiment.
And how many governments across the world
It's
are
still an
modeled?
experiment, bro. We're still
We're still
constantly.
But that's why we're
growing.
the fastest growing country. I mean,
We have
Exactly,
we
bro.
have
We're
our
open-minded.
original sin. We have our original sin. I'm not gonna deny that, you know. But we're focusing and working to a light for the rest of the world. Oh, well, that's racist saying that because the rest of the
We're
world
being
is lit.
open-minded, bro. We're being open-minded.
There's places where people are still 8. There's places where due process does not exist. Somebody says that you did something, you get taken and you get put incarcerated for 30 years without due process. You know, there's places where, you know, women still have to walk 3 feet behind the man and they have to wait until the man finishes eating after they serve them and wear a burqa. You know, You know,
And they can't drive and shit.
you can't drive, you can't study.
can't go to school, yeah.
Go to Afghanistan, man, and see how little girls, as soon as they're 6 or 7 years old, are married off. That as soon as they bleed, what they call when they have their first moon, when they bleed, they're given to a 40, 50-year-old man. You know, hold on, we're the feminists. You know, against that. You know, go to Southeast Asia, where a child gets, might get lucky and learn how to read. A girl for sure might learn how to read, or just, in almost all these Southeast Asian countries, there's no advanced education for them. They get stuck in a farm, cropping rice or whatnot. The cultures are different.
This doesn't happen here in America.
It doesn't happen
Everybody.
here.
Yeah.
The cultures are different, and I refuse to accept the fact of, being subjugated to the point where one world government controlling all regulations, where small businesses ceases to exist, where private property ceases to exist, where we're all one and happy. Yeah, it sounds beautiful, but it's not reality, because there's no perfect samurai, and we all have avarice, and we all feel greed, and sooner or later your ambition might supersede his, and you might want to have 3 technicas versus 1. You might want to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go train at the Danaher Death Squad boys because I want to learn how to do a heel hook better, or worse, or this, or I want to wrestle some more. So when your freedoms are subjugated because they insist that everyone has to be mediocre at best and be the same, and no matter how much you strive, you still have to all be the same. And that's what globalism is. One religion, one monetary, one currency, one government regulating everything. No small business. Small businesses get clumped together, called acopios, if you talk to your parents, they'll know what an acopio is, where they took all the privately held milk cattle farms, and they put them all together. One acopio controlled by the government. Nowhere it's worked. In Zimbabwe, it didn't work. In Venezuela, we all know it didn't work.
It didn't work there for sure.
In Ethiopia, it didn't work. In Vietnam, it didn't work.
You know what they do there?
Cuba,
at nights, they turn off the power randomly, like the FPL, here in Florida. They just shut off the power, and they're like, "Hey, we gotta save some power," and then it doesn't work. So
globalism leads to that. You need a social construct.
But I think in terms of government or social models, we have never seen something like that tried. And I'm not saying that I disagree with you. I'm just saying, like, we've seen communism tried in small, like, in countries and stuff like that. We know, we don't know, but we've seen that it doesn't work. In all the times that have been tried, it doesn't work. But we've never seen.
What about China?
Like a one world China.
That's a weird form of communism, though.
Yeah,
it's a
basically
a totalitarian.
A totalitarian government, but it allows business, but almost all the privately held businesses, so they can deal with the rest of the world, are owned by government elites. Don't get fooled into it, by elites. The
government basically says, "Hey, this is mine," but
yeah, they're basically like, "Yo, hey, you could kind of run
do
this
whatever
shit, but pay me.
Do whatever you want. I'm just taking all the profit."
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could barely live though.
Nobody wants that. No.
Who wants that? Why should, imagine if the same regulations applied to cattle ranching that are done in, let's just say, Brazil, versus the cattle ranching regulations that are applied in Canada, or even in Europe, where the cattle has to be so clean and all this. Why? Imagine if all of that were to be made the same. The people in Brazil would not know how to handle it.
I think that's like business 101 or marketing 101. Like, you can't use the same strategy in every single place, because every single place has different environment, different peoples, different.
Absolutely.
We go back to culture. Your concept of life and death is different from somebody else's culture of life and death. So your culture of religion or philosophy or government is different from every other country or culture in the world.
So in your opinion, what's the right model for?
I think is be good and upright, that God may love thee. Be brave in the face of all of your enemies. Always say the truth, even if it leads to your death. Safeguard the helpless and protect the poor. That is my oath.
Would you say that
is
ever since this started happening and we've all been on lockdown,
Damn,
we've
that's a
all
good
God
man.
damn,
the whole world? Hey, would you say the whole world has forgotten?
Yo, I need that shit on a plaque.
Would you,
give me
would
a
you say that
t-shirt,
the
dog.
world's forgotten about standards and been like, we need to work together to figure this shit out, to figure out how the fuck to survive? Or would you say
that's fine too, man? Working together as a globe. If we were attacked by aliens, how fast would we forget our differences
That's
in
what I'm
color,
saying.
creed,
Ray, please say
religion?
you
that
can
again.
feel that right now? Who the fuck is talking about a war? Who the fuck is talking about anything? You're thinking about, I hope this shit's okay and I'm not gonna fucking.
Dude, I would join with whoever to defeat somebody attacking our our Earth.
Hey, what's up with that? Didn't you guys notice that? Like, was it last month they've started releasing like
videos shit.
Yeah, but nobody cares right now because everybody's fucking bored at home. They finally let us know that aliens exist, and now we're just.
Well, they said that there was an identified flying object. They never said aliens yet, but they need to already, man. They need to already open up and.
Nobody cared though with all this freaking.
They're like, yo, are we gonna die or not, dog? I just want to get back to work. Let me know what the fuck. I don't care about aliens, cuz I forget about that shit. I just want to go make money.
What level Jumanji is this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, flying
I'm ready
hornets,
for level 5, dude. Just let me get back to work, dog.
Hurricanes.
Yo, who got the next dice roll?
No.
Hey,
but,
look, basically,
but for real. Ray, can you say that again? Say your creed again.
Be good and upright that God may love thee, whatever your concept of God is. Be good and upright that God may love thee. Be brave in the face of all of your enemies. Always say the truth, even if it leads to your death. Safeguard the helpless and protect the poor.
A fucking samurai, bro.
That's code, man.
That's why.
You ready to play that?
Straight
clap?
from the horse's mouth.
Hey, you
Look,
ready to play that clap, bud?
An overall subject of what Ray has told us today and what this podcast is about, and I'm probably gonna make it the title. No politics, just jiu-jitsu. Shout out DLP.
DLP,
we love
man.
you, bro.
Freshest shirts, man.
Freshest shirts, freshest gear.
I think we need to end it on that note because I don't know how we're gonna close out.
I don't know how the fuck. No, bro. Ray makes this shit impossible to close out, bro.
Ray's still rocking the freaking samurai ponytail. Ray is the Miami, Cuban
the real
samurai.
Miami samurai, bro.
I think he's influenced a lot of people, including myself, man. Like
all of us, bro.
Yeah. So
bro, we love you, bro. We love you.
Thank you for coming out and talking with us.
We can't wait to have you back again, bro, so we can keep talking about what we were talking about,
Those
man.
conspiracy, man.
We appreciate
climate change.
your time.
Huge conspiracy.
We didn't even get to climate change.
We'll get to that.
Next episode,
time.
bro. Hey, listen, Ray, we love you, bro. Can't wait to have you back again, man, and we will see all you guys soon.
Oos. Thank you, guys.